Welcome to another episode of Racing to Learn. We are a nonprofit that uses radio control to get kids excited about math and science. We are working on our Slash two-wheel drive brushless. Actually, those aren't the ones that I wanted to take out first. We're continuing work on removing the cracked bulkhead. The front bulkhead here had a pretty bad crash that broke off one of the arms that holds in the lower control arm. And so we are replacing that. So, get a better view here. Just going to take off the old one here, and the replacement, we're just going to go ahead and replace this whole setup here since we had one laying around from a spare. Removing this whole front assembly. Forgot I need to take off the hinge pins. So those new hinge pins that we just put in before this run, we are now taking out because we're going to remove the least amount of parts possible here. And, oh, that one is bent a little bit, actually. So, we had an aluminum C-hub on this side. We're going to actually be removing it in total. And I said we were going to do an experiment in the previous episode where we were going to run an aluminum C-hub on one side with a stock pin. And actually, this one is still relatively straight. The other one is clearly bent. So we are going to try out the new STRC hinge pins. Now these seemed a little bit long, but I double checked and that's what folks actually use. And that, again, that's ST Racing ST3640-FK. So we're gonna pull out this whole assembly now. And gonna put, kind of blend the old with the new here. I'm just gonna move the chassis out of the way because we're going to grab a couple things off of that assembly to make this other assembly whole. And we've got another assembly that we're going to grab the shocks of. Off of this was an old front end off of a Stampede. The shocks were good here. These needed kind of a cleaning and refilling anyways, so we're going to go with these that are ready to go. So let's see here. And I discovered that the shock tower on this assembly was slightly cracked. So we were going to kind of grab that off of this old assembly. And these shocks, I just felt them, they are empty. You want to check your shocks periodically because they do lose their fluid, right? Although they seem sealed, Actually, a little bit of that fluid gets dispensed onto the shock shaft with each compression there. So, and then the shock, this side's shock cap actually blew off. So there's a little bit of a mess here in terms of shock fluid. So let's do this. I'm going to take bits and pieces from all these to make a whole. Let's see what we need here. So we need the shock tower from here. Okay, and then go ahead and remove the shocks as well. These are special screws on here, and there's a washer behind there as well that you don't want to lose. So it's always good to work on a pit mat like this Proline one that I've got here. Alright, it looks like I'm missing the washer on the other side, so we'll have to grab another one of those. And then I'm just going to remove these two luggages here. The upper A-arms, or upper turnbuckles, if you will. All right. So we'll go ahead and put these off to the side here. There's the broken bulkhead. And we'll put on the new stuff. So, grabbing that whole tower, I'm going to probably give this a wipe down real quick. A little grime on here. Alright. Always useful to have some paper towels while you're doing this work. These are the Proline extended mounts that we use to mount our... Alright, so we're gonna do some reassembly here. Actually, I'm gonna inspect this shock tower just to make sure that... I always like to start off these screws by hand here so we don't strip plastic. Just wanted to do quick check that this shock tower did not have a hairline crack like the other one. So, gonna put these screws back in. And we should be back up and running here in no time. So, always useful to carry some of these parts, spare parts, spare, complete rollers. So, whenever I see a good deal on a used Slash or whatnot, or Stampede, that's why we have so many of these laying around. That parts interchangeability is pretty awesome. gonna snug those up by hand just to make sure that we don't over tighten and strip through the plastic. All right. So we've got the shock tower attached to the bulkheads now. And go ahead and connect the arms to that shock tower as well. Where's the other screw? There we go. Oh no. Still in the arm. Okay, so I was looking for these flathead or panhead screws here. And just wanted to make sure that I've got the right end of the rod in. You'll notice that they're not symmetrical. One part has a flat part. That side is the one that you want to go, that you want to have facing the plastic. And again, just wanted to start off these screws by hand here before I hit it with the power driver there, just to make sure everything lines up properly and then I don't strip out any screws. Okay. Again, snugging those up by hand here so we don't over tighten. So now we've got our suspension arms back on. Okay, I'm just going to put our shocks back on. This video is probably getting a little bit too long, so I'll lop it back on here. Next step I'm going to do is just replace or move over the shocks, good shocks over. So we'll catch you next time when we do that. Thanks again for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let us know if you guys find these videos useful.